morning, everybody. It is very cold this morning, hence why I sound like this. I had the deepest of deep sleeps and I've just woken up. Now, I was going to do a live stream covering Foodie Beauties Live and the Alexis thing and mukbangs and stuff like that, but just didn't get the opportunity. But I did want to have a little bit of a talk about Foodie Beauties' outpouring of emotions, because I don't really want to call it a rage. It is classically Foodie, just, saying words and just, trying to make everybody around her feel mad and bad and sad. But when it's coming from Foodie, it just kind of falls flat. It really just sort of doesn't mean anything because we know where it comes from. And when she talks, we know who she's talking about when she says certain things, but I feel as though Foodie's just coming from a place of insecurity. That's where all of that came from yesterday. Couple of reasons. The multiple hot dog troll kind of fell on deaf ears because the irony that she was sitting there eating something, just one of those hot dogs, that was more impressive with the sauce than anything that Sala could deliver up, was not lost on all of us. She dreams that he would be packing something so sufficient in his pants. And the fact that he's rocking something that looks like a misshapen, undercooked, squashed rissole would be disappointing as a wife. And it's not so much the size that the problem is, that you don't want to get a jump scare from what your husband's rolling up to the party with. You know what I mean? You don't want to have to put yourself into a, almost hypnotic state not to be repulsed by the junk downstairs, You sort of want to have somebody coming at you with something that you can welcome with open arms and open legs, but that kind of makes you just want to lock down like Fort Knox. But anyway, I digress. Enough about Salah's Ween. Foodie is probably feeling rather embarrassed because she's been holding in this information all on her own. She didn't want to reveal it to the world that Salah is has got another disappointing feature about himself. First the face, then the tits, then the laugh, then the personality. And now he doesn't even have that redeeming quality of having a nice big thick schlong. He's sad in that department as well. So I feel like she just let it all unleash yesterday. And for somebody who's just said a couple of days ago she doesn't like to compare, she did say that, it makes her feel bad. That's why she deletes things. That's why she deletes her rage stream sometimes, because she feels remorse and she feels bad. And she was talking about how her religion teaches her not to let things go. Just let it go. Just let it go. Don't retaliate because that makes you look bad. Don't say mean words and lash out at people that are trying to bring you down. You want to sort of overcome it. Become a resilient person. Hate just makes her stronger. It builds her up. And then she goes on to unleash on pretty much most people that she feels are attacking her. And some do. And some people just tell her the truth. And some people just tell her opinions. And that's fine. But she really went in for FFG quite a bit. She brought up her religion, which has got nothing to do with opinions. But okay. That's like saying every opinion that Foodie has is a Muslim opinion. Every time she attacks someone, it's because she's Muslim. She shouldn't be saying it. Well, she shouldn't. Because she's the one who puts it in her face that she's trying to be a pious, adherent Muslim. FFG has said multiple times that she was born into Judaism and she just doesn't practice. So she doesn't have to follow any of the rules. She's designated that religion. Foodie has actively decided to, every single day she's on camera, wear a hijab because she's a hijabi, because it's part of her new husband's new culture, and it's designated by Allah that you should cover your head, which means that she's a practicing Muslim. So you would be doing and following the characteristics of Muslims, is not jumping online and calling people red-necked, cabbage-faced trailer trash, basically. Yeah. And the other thing is Foodie's like, but I'm pretty. Well, it's great. It's great to have that kind of self-esteem. It really is. It's important for people and women, especially in this day and age, where you don't fit within the what you would consider the beauty norms. Classic beauty. I mean, beauty comes in all shapes and forms, doesn't it? I mean, what's someone's ideal may not be somebody else's ideal, you know? And I would say myself, a lot of girl world, foodie beauty especially, we don't necessarily fit into the norms. But there are degrees, are there not? There are degrees. Now I could simply list the features that would probably put some people lower on the list than others. You know what I mean? If we were taking a test and it was a pass or fail, I don't think Foodie would get up in the night. I don't think she'd get a pass. But I noticed that she is cultivating more features that would be considered less attractive. Those jowls, the jowls around the mouth, they're really coming in quite nicely, quite full and quite distinguished. And another more noticeable feature that I've noticed is that, has the barbecue sludge migrated from your vag up to your teeth? Because that's a very unique shade of brown that you're cultivating there. Is that something you're actively working on, or is it just simple hygiene negligence? Are we just neglecting the teeth like we neglect the skin, our character, life? Are we just being more neglectful of late? And I'm so glad, Foodie. I'm so glad that you are sitting on top of the life that you want, that you're on top of the world. You're exactly where you want to be. That's amazing that somebody has such simple tastes. It's really important that we don't aim for things that aren't achievable. You know what I mean? Have achievable goals. Now, I feel as though your life is your achievable goal. Sala is exactly the quality of man that someone like yourself deserves. A small, I don't know, basic home with limited resources is exactly what you can cope with, and that's important. It's important to know your limits. It's probably a good thing that your income is lower, because we know that you can't distribute large amounts of money wisely. You've been in a position where you've had plenty of financial resources and you just squandered those. So it's probably good that having less money means that you have to spend a bit wiser. You know what I mean? Like, it's an advantage for you. That's pretty fantastic. You're living the life that you want, basically, where you get to eat, poop, nap, live stream, eat, poop, nap, live stream. I mean, that seems to be the life that you want, and that's the life that you've got. That's pretty amazing that you've managed to cultivate that at 40. I'm guessing the diabetes is probably not something that you desired, and all your health implications and Sala's infidelity is probably not things that you wanted in your life, but they're there. But you're resilient. You'll be able to overcome all of those things. I'm sure you can rebuild the trust with Sala over time, and he won't have to send you photographs and his location pins and drive with you on camera everywhere he goes, just so you know where he is and he's not with other people. I'm sure over time you won't have to do that as much, and you can just totally trust him whenever he goes out to play cards and goes to the barber, and does small errands without you. I'm sure you can, because you are such a catch. You are such a catch. I mean, what a mistake he made. What an absolute mistake. I mean, I bet it absolutely just gutted him. But anyway, there's not much else you can say other than Foodie's probably feeling really insecure about a man's junk, and probably feeling insecure about her own weight and her own looks. I mean, once you hit 40, everything's just downhill from there, isn't it? There's just no hope for us ladies in the 40s. It's just all wrinkled skin, blotchy, uneven surface, jowls. I wonder if libido started to drop. That happens in your 40s as well. But I just wanted to wonder, is she angry because of the situation that caused Sala's peen pic to be released to the world? I mean, we would never have seen it had he never sent it to Kybella after he initiated contact with her in the first place. I mean, it's not like it was just made up out of thin air. He physically dacked himself, grabbed his 2 forefingers, manipulated that thing into the best angle he possibly could, took the picture, approved the picture, added it to the email, to the text message line, and hit send, waited for the whoop, boop, till it dropped, and then he probably smiled to himself and be like, that's gonna clinch it. I mean, there was a whole process to how somebody else got that picture of Sala. So yeah, so we would never know if he had never taken the photo and sent it off. Yeah. But even if it's not his, which we absolutely think it is, the fact that we even have to speculate whether it's his or not, and you can't even refute the fact that there is a dick pic of his floating around, that's pretty embarrassing. Isn't that embarrassing? That's pretty embarrassing. Yeah, I'd say that's embarrassing. But yeah, Foodie's rage came from yesterday because she feels so ugly compared to everybody else. And she can feel pretty. If she's feeling sexy, she's feeling hot. That's all you actually really need. But when you feel that way about yourself, you don't actually have to go around going, yeah, but you've got this and you've got that and you're ugly and you're like, it's not even about being stupid. She just came for everybody's looks yesterday, basically. And even Kaya, I mean, Kaya has her own situation and we know what it is. But I wouldn't be throwing rather large rocks in your very shonky glass house, Foodie. Because your husband dreams of doing some pretty rancid things to women. That's his fantasy. That's his dark desire, is to do some pretty grapey things to women. So wanting to and just not having the ability to enact, or just hasn't had the opportunity to do it yet. I wouldn't be looking at other people's partners too hard if I were you when you have a grub as a husband yourself. But yeah, so much to be smug about, so much to be proud of. Yeah. I mean, she doesn't even, like that, those kind of live streams kind of usually get me quite punchy. And I got to admit, when I was watching it initially, I was just thinking, who is this? Like, what is she talking about? It's all subjective, isn't it? Being pretty is subjective. You think you look one way, and then everybody else looking at you can think you're another. Yeah. That's how it works. You're the only one who needs to think you're pretty. That's what's important. You don't have to try and hit us over the head to tell us, to convince us that you're pretty, because we have our own eyeballs and we have our own opinion on that. Yes, we do. So Foodie can think what she wants. She can eat all the hot dogs in the world and she can gain all the weight. I bet she's probably mad. I bet she's a bit jealous of Amber at the minute. I think Foodie's probably a little bit jealous that she doesn't have somebody who's just going to sit there and pat her tummy, tell her she's sexy, and hand feed her all those hot dogs. I don't think we'd ever see Sala sit down and hand feed Foodie food, to be honest, because I think he'd be a bit worried about losing a finger. I mean, the speculation of how he got those weird marks on his ding-dong are, look at her teeth, like, yeah. And yeah, some of us have nice teeth and some of us don't. I mean, my bottom ones are a bit crooked. They're pretty nice. I mean, they're not awful. They don't frighten people away, so. And they seem to be the right colour. So anyway, hope you have a good day, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe. And you're beautiful. Everyone's beautiful except Foodie. Okay, bye.